What's going on, everybody? Craig Daniel here again. It's gorgeous March weather out here in the Chicagoland area, so that means it's time to take out the nice cars from the garage. They've been sitting in there since December. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to be changing the oil. Today we're going to be changing the oil on the FTO, so I'm going to walk you through that, how I do it for any other FTO owners in the US. Show you what I got. The oil that I'm going with is the Castrol Edge 5W30 fully synthetic oil, and the oil filter I'm going to be using is the K&N HP1010. So I'm going to back the car up, jack it up, let's get going. All right, so now we got the car jacked up. We got to go under the car and drain the oil pan. So the oil pan here is located on the driver's side of the car. It's right here. We're gonna drain that sucker with a 17mm wrench and let it drip. All right, so now we got everything drained out. I put the bolt back on there. Now when you're putting the bolt back on there, you want to make sure that it's not over tightened onto the oil pan. What I always do is I always hand tighten it and then just wrench it slightly farther. I don't use any torque wrenches. I probably should, but now we got to get to the oil filter and remove that so we can replace it. And that guy is, so if you're looking at the middle of the car right here, it's right there. See that? There we go. It's not in the best spot. It's not in the best spot in the world, but we'll make it happen. When I say it's not the best spot in the world, you can't get your hand around it. So I'm trying to like move it from the front. Best spot in the world is an understatement, really. Luckily, K&N filters have a little wrench on the end, so I'm gonna go get myself a wrench. Easy peasy. Mac and cheesy right there. Got it loose. Well, that's nice. They put this little sheet of metal there to block it from hitting all the wires and let it drip. It's strictly just a sheet of metal just for the oil. Nice. All right, so we got the new oil filter. Now before we put it on, I want to clean that area real good around the oil filter, just so there's no excess residue, there's no leakage that can happen. And then right before we put it on, what we're going to do is add a little bit of oil to the ring to create a suction, just like that. Okay? What actually, before I even put it on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil in this, just so when you start it up, it's not completely oil free. Alright, so we got a little bit of oil in there. We got our area clean. Now we're going to put the filter back on and hand tighten it best we can in this area. All right, so I got into a point where it's hand tightened now, but just like the pan bolt, I'm going to tighten it slightly. I'm going to tighten it slightly more than hand tighten it, especially in this area where you can't really get your hand around. I'm just going to tighten it a little bit more. All right, so everything's going pretty smooth so far. We got the oil pan emptied. We got our new oil filter on. Now it's time to bring the car back to somewhat level ground so we can put the oil in and get close to right about the amount of oil that we need. Now the amount of oil that it says, I believe, is 4.7, but I changed oil once before I put it for storage last year, and it only took about 4. All right, I'm gonna do a quick oil check real quick. quick oil check real quick. It's a lot of quicks. Oh, we're pretty cleaned out. All right, it looks good. All right, time to start adding the oil. Take the cap off. Go. All right. Let's see how much we could put in here. All right, just over 3.5 quarts. Let's check the oil. Let's check the level. All right, it's almost to the full already. So let's add a little bit more oil. Like I said, it was about 4 quarts last time. So I'm anticipating it to be about the same. It's about 3.9 quarts right there. That looks about 3.9. So let's keep going just a little smidge more. That's 4 quarts right there. Right there, that looks good to me. We're right below the full line. That seems good to me. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna give this sucker a start, let it run for a little bit, check for any drips. And that should be the oil change, pending any issues. Hopefully not. But let's get this sucker started. All right, so now we got the car started. We'll do a quick check just to make sure nothing's leaking. Clean up a little bit and go for a drive, man. This is what I'm talking about. Got the FTO going. Stay tuned for the Lotus oil change video. That is a little more steps to it because there's a panel underneath. Otherwise, obviously, it's an oil change, right? It's the same thing, but I'll document it, make a video for you guys. Yeah, be sure to subscribe, like the video. Let me know if you got any comments, thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna go for a drive. I'm pumped.